Hello, everybody, and welcome to Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. I'm Noah Alvarez, and I'll be joined by Victor Vasquez, Ryan Osborne, and Jared Hall for tonight's match between Riverside City College and Fullerton College. It's an Orange Empire Conference match between both teams, and we're just about ready to introduce you to both teams. But before we do that, let's go ahead and toss it over to a pre-recorded interview we had with head coach Megan Glennie of Fullerton College. I'm here with head coach Megan Glennie of the volleyball team here at Fullerton College. And coach, I want to talk about the past week. Your girls played in 2 tough games that went 5 sets, and in both those 5th sets, they got off to a little bit of slow starts. Mm-hmm. What are some things that you could work on with your coaching staff in order to improve the start in those 5th sets?
Definitely, great question. For us, I think there's a lot that goes into it, and obviously either a slow start or not being able to finish a 5th set is really a mental aspect of the game. So one thing that we always emphasize, the way that we warm up, that's the way that we're going to start the game. So we really push our girls in this warm up to get mentally focused. We always do a team devo at the beginning of our game just to kind of get our minds right, visualize a little bit to make sure we're all checked in. But I think it really boils down to, and something that we've been talking about, is owning the fact that this is our house. There's no need to come out here nervous or whatever it is, but come out here and really just demonstrate everything that we've been working towards this season. Because before this we were 8-0, and now we're seeing some challenges that we didn't see before, and it's really, at the end of the day, how do you respond? And one thing that we've been talking to them about is do not let the fear of failure define you. So I think that's really important as an athlete. I think that happens a lot. And how are you, responding under pressure? If you don't love pressure, pressure's, it's going to end up catching up with you. So we're really trying to challenge that aspect, mental aspect, because at the end of the day, skill aspect, we know it's there. We've seen it. But how can we make that consistent? Because how can you make it consistent? It's really just the mental aspect of the game. So that's something that we've been trying to better with our athletes.
So when looking at tonight's opponent, Riverside City College, the last time your team played them, you swept them 3-0. What are some things that you felt your team had an advantage over the last time these two teams played?
Definitely. I think we did. So actually, the first set when we played them at their home, we were down 18-23. We came back to win 25-23, which was a huge comeback for us. And then the next 2 sets after that, we did pretty well. And just kind of took care of business. But something that we did a great job of is serving, against Riverside, and we did a good job of getting them out of system and serving, different targets to make sure that they're not in system. So once again, we have a game plan for every team, but just making sure that we execute that game plan and dial in and being great at the things we're in control of once again.
So you mentioned serving, and we're talking about serving just before last game too, and one of those players that have really stood out on the team as far as service aces is Faith Webb.
Definitely.
And the last game we were here at Cypress College, she had a lot of different serves that we saw. Can you talk about the different ones that she uses and what makes each one so special?
Definitely, and that's why Faith, you'll see, as our first server, and the reason why normally a lot of coaches start in serve receive row 6 or serving row 1. We completely changed the way that we start so that we have our best server serving, and that's why Faith is our first server. And she does a great job of whatever zone we're giving her, 1-6-5, even short, 2-3-4. She goes back there with confidence and does her job. But if you came to one of our practices, you could see the difference, because when we're practicing serving, there's no lack of focus. She's back there every single serve, focusing and making sure that she's getting the job done in practice. And at the end of the day, serving, what you're doing in practice is going to translate in a game. So she does a great job of that.
So with their sophomore middle, Longstreet, being out tonight, who are some players that you're going to need to step up if she misses some significant time in the season?
Definitely. We have Lexi. She's coming in and playing middle for us tonight, which we're excited about. She's excited about, and we prepared her yesterday at practice, so she feels more than confident coming in and taking over that role. But at the end of the day, losing a key player like Sam, for now, everyone just has to do their job. We're going to have to be great at defense. We're going to have to be great at all the little things that we normally are. But if one person isn't doing their job, it's going to show. So that's something that we have to go out there today and just take care of business. Someone else that has been standing out in practice that you'll probably see tonight is Nicole Tiffany. So she'll come in because she's been doing a really good job. So she's someone that we need to step up tonight as well.
What's the toughest part when looking at the season as a whole? A lot of freshmen on this team. What's the toughest part about getting this freshman team to be as consistent on a night in and night out basis?
Definitely, and that's a great question. Huge freshman team, and that's kind of in regards to talking about the whole mental aspect of the game that really just develops, with time. And it's something that, when in looking at our roster, we don't have time. It just needs to happen. So that's something that we've been talking a lot as coaches about, is just making sure that these freshmen come in here confident. They can't have a mindset like a freshman because they have a great opportunity. I know when I was in college as a freshman, when you go to a four-year university, you have to be probably one of the best recruits coming in to go in and start at a four-year program. So we don't have that benefit of having four-year players, three-year players come in and kind of teach them, hey, this is what it looks like. Hey, this is how we practice. This is what confidence, all those different things that you have older players kind of demonstrating. Of course, you don't really have that at a junior college, and for us, we have a roster full of freshmen. But I think they're really this season finding their role, and it's exciting to think that not only do they just have this season, they have next season as well, and then a full off season to really better that. So it's exciting for us as the coaching staff, definitely.
Is it an advantage for you that you have a few girls that came and that you coached at the club level but also at the high school level too? Is it an advantage for you and your coaching staff?
Definitely, because they know our style, they know what we expect, they know exactly what we're looking for as a coaching staff, and it's nice to have those kids because they're already bought in, otherwise they wouldn't be here. If they didn't like what we were doing or if they didn't believe in the process that we put forth as coaches, obviously they wouldn't be here. So they came in, bought in, and then when you have a group who's bought in, now anyone else that may, what's this, what's that, it takes over, and now it becomes a culture. So it's really awesome to see because we have quite a few kids that we've coached either at high school, club, coming in and following us. So it's awesome. It's awesome for us, and it's also awesome for them just to continue, being able to play volleyball at a high level.
As we wrap up the 2019 season, how would you describe the Orange Empire Conference now that you are in your second year coaching here at Fullerton College?
That's a great question. Tough. It's a tough conference, if not the best conference. Even, us going 8-0, it's really easy to get complacent and be like, man, we're doing really good. But with the Orange Conference, anyone can get you, and it's crazy to see. You look at some of these teams, and I know OCC and Cypress both lost to Golden West, someone that we beat in 3. We beat OCC in 3, and then they come back and beat us in 5. So it's really, you have to constantly be on your A game. There's no time for you to take a break off. It's great. I love the challenge personally. I think it also helps. Let's say you have a bad preseason, and you come in and beat these teams. It helps out. It's a plus in your advantage. So it's tough, but personally, I love the competition.
Well, thank you very much for your time, and best of luck tonight.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Noah. Thank you.
Welcome back here to Colleen Riley Court on the campus of Fullerton College, where for tonight's match we have Riverside City College Volleyball versus Fullerton College. I'm Noah Alvarez, joined by Victor Vasquez, Jared Hall, and Ryan Osborne, and that was an interview we did with head coach Megan Glennie of Fullerton College about an hour and a half before game time. Thanks again to her for doing that interview. So Victor, when looking at both these teams, talk to us about the season that Fullerton College has been having.
Well, Noah, one of the things that we've got to look at is that it's been a very kind of up and down for Fullerton, in good ways, though. They started off the season really well, getting a few wins under their belt, and it was, I believe, after that Grossmont Classic tournament that they had in about September, where they just picked up steam and they just went full throttle, went on an 8-game win streak, a majority of those wins coming away from here at Colleen Riley Court. And it just built their momentum, and it just made them look like a tough team. But as of late, we've been to a few games. They've gone to tough 5-setters. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Fullerton is going to respond against the Riverside Tigers.
Yeah, Riverside on the year, 11-12 overall record, 5-8 in Orange Empire Conference play. Fullerton College, the team we were just talking about, the home team in tonight's match, they're 13-9, 8-4 in Orange Empire Conference play. You were mentioning up and down. They were riding an 8-game win streak before they played Irvine Valley College 2 Wednesdays ago. Lose to Irvine Valley, lose to Orange Coast, defeat Santiago Canyon, but then lose to Cypress College on Wednesday. We were here for that game, as we're going to take a quick break for the national anthem here at Colleen Riley Court. We'll be right back with Fullerton College Volleyball.
We now all please rise, face the flag, and
Back here at Colleen Riley Court, I'm Noah Alvarez, joined by Victor Vasquez, Jared Hall, and Ryan Osborne for tonight's volleyball match between two Orange Empire Conference teams. Fullerton College, who enters tonight 13-9, 8-4 in Orange Empire Conference play, and Riverside City College, who is 11-12 overall this season, 5-8 in Orange Empire Conference play. Starting with the visiting team, they're led by 11th year head coach Monica Hayes, trainer. She's taken this team to 2 playoffs in her tenure here at Riverside City College. And Victor, who are some players that we should be looking out for on this Tigers team?
Well, Noah, I would start with Vashti Elias Romero, the leading kill getter for the Riverside Tigers. She, so far this season, has 234 kills, 26 aces, and 256 digs. So not only does she get points for her team, but she's also has a great awareness on the court in order to gate defense and keep rallies alive. Another player you have to look out for is Keely Hober. She leads the team with 62 blocks so far and also adds to 62 kills for the Riverside Tigers.
They're coming off a loss to Irvine Valley College last Wednesday, as we get you some of the key stats ahead of tonight's match between two Orange Empire Conference teams. As I mentioned, Fullerton College 13-9 in comparison to RCC, who's 11-12. RCC sitting at a conference record of 5-8, while the Hornets are currently 8-4. The kills per set go in favor of Fullerton College, as they're averaging 11.6 kills per set, while RCC is averaging 10.1. 730 assists for the Tigers and 802 assists for the Hornets, as digs are in favor as well. 1,468 digs in comparison to 1,230 for the Tigers. And in the last 10 matches, Riverside City College is 3-7, while the Hornets are 7-3. So two teams heading in a little bit different directions. We'll get you a little bit more on the Orange Empire Conference standings as we now turn it over to the home team. The Hornets are led by second-year head coach Megan Glennie. We've been here for plenty of games. Victor, tell us who are these players that we should be watching out for on this Hornets team.
Well, I've got to mention Faith Webb. Last game, she had a nice streak during that second set where she just hit multiple points off of the serve, and she currently leads the Fullerton Hornets with 36 aces so far. So I expect her to continue that strong performance at serve, because Fullerton is going to need those type of points to kind of set up their attack or get those easy points that they need. Second player you got to look out for is Sailor Frew. She has just been on a roll. She already set the school record for most kills with 305 kills already. She also has 28 aces, and she actually led the way against, the competition of what they've been able to go against, like Cyprus last Wednesday, where she ended up leading with 19 kills and 4 blocks as well. So look out for those two players. Try to step up, especially with Longstreet now out with an injury.
So let's go ahead and get you the starters for both teams in tonight's match. Hornets are going to roll with Alexis Zander, who's starting in place of Sam Longstreet. Mackenzie Jenstad, Karen Delgadillo will be the setter. Sailor Frew and Faith Webb are the two outside hitters. Hannah Tobin will be the defensive specialist, and Priscilla Gutierrez is going to check in for the libero sub, as Fullerton will start with the serve here in tonight's first set. Faith Webb, the freshman out of Yorba Linda High School, will be starting it off for the Hornets as we get you the 6 for Riverside City College. It'll be Jasmine Urban to dig out the first ball. We saw Sadie Arganda hit the deck for that one, unable to grasp that one, as the first point goes to the Hornets. Keely Hober is also in the starting lineup, along with Haley Gray. Sadie Arganda will be doing the libero duties in tonight's match. She's out there with Vashti Elias Romero and Robin Collier, as this one's going to be long from Webb.
Yep. It really was a long one, and one that went out of play too.
Correction, that one's going to land inbounds.
Oh, sorry.
Riverside City College gets the point. They lead 2-0. This one is blocked by Hober at the net. It's going to go out of bounds.
It was another point for the Hornets, it looks like.
2-1 is the score, as the Hornets now have a lead. A little bit of scoreboard issue. He's reading the wrong score. So the Hornets lead here at Colleen Riley Court, 2-1. Mackenzie Jenstad now will be serving for Megan Glennie's squad. Freshman out of Troy High School. Frew taps this one, hits the top of the net. Going to roll over gently onto the Riverside City side, and this one by Elias Romero is going to be too long. Another point for the Hornets. They go up 3-1.
And a little too much juice on that one right there. So
Genstad still serving for the Hornets. She has 22 service aces on the year. The Hornets had 10 service aces as a team last time these two teams played earlier this year. They won that 3-0 back on the 9th of October. This one is going to be shanked by Hannah Tobin in that back left corner. Point for Riverside City. They now trail 3-2 early on in this first set.
well, we'll see what Riverside, how they'll respond on this one.
They're led by 11th year head coach Monica Hayes, trainer. As Fullerton now getting into their playset, and Webb hits this one a little too low.
She probably needed to hit it higher, but hey, it's a tie game now.
3-3 is the score here at Colleen Riley Court in this first set. It's Sadie Arganda, the libero for Riverside City College, serving it off. She makes the pass to her teammate Elias Romero, and this one clips off of Xander. Gonna go out of bounds, point for the Tigers. They lead now 4-3.
Nice little hit right there, and a nice response for the Riverside Tigers.
Arganda in the black libero jersey with the black sleeve on her left arm. Riverside City in white as Delgadillo tries to dump it over, but the Tigers were prepared. Fullerton College in their white uniforms. We usually see them in their blue long sleeve uniforms here at home, switching things up a little bit. As Romero gets this one over. She had to hit the deck for that one. Here's Frew right into the double block. Point for the Tigers. They lead 5-3 early on in this first set.
Well, if you think about it, the ceiling is what saved the Tigers on that play.
You're right, Jared. That low ceiling plays a large factor into a lot of these games we've seen here at Colleen Riley Court. Here's a floating serve. No spin on that one by Arganda. Deflected by Xander. The 6'4" middle. This one, a backcourt attack by Webb is good. So the Hornets now trail 5-4 early on in this first set.
It's no wonder why Webb is the star player for this team, apparently.
Webb, the freshman out of Yorba Linda High School. She has 36 service aces on the year to go along with 192 kills, which is good for 6th in the Orange Empire Conference. Her service aces, 36 of them, ranked 3rd in Orange Empire Conference, as we see her from the backcourt attack. And Xander is going to get called for the lifting penalty. 6-4, Tigers lead.
You hate to see that happen every day.
Robin Collier is going to now serve for the Tigers. She's the sophomore outside hitter from Carnegie High School. This one spiked down hard and fast by Frew. Hornets now trail by 1, 6-5 is the score.
No, and Jared, just to give you a heads up, that's already Sailor Frew's 2nd kill of this first set.
It was.
She entered tonight's match with 305 kills on the season, closing in on that single season record for the volleyball program. Gutierrez can't get to that one. It's going to be a point for the Tigers. They now lead 7-5. Back and forth this first set has gone.
It really has been, and pretty even so far.
We've seen Fullerton ride that hot streak. We were there for that game against Golden West. They're coming off a 6-game win streak, extended it to 8 games 2 weeks ago. As there's going to be a rotation violation against the Hornets. Another easy point for the Tigers. 8-5 now is the score. The Hornets are riding an 8-game win streak, then lose to Irvine Valley College. Lose a second in a row. This one to Orange Coast College. That was last Wednesday. They got their momentum back, it seemed like, against Santiago Canyon last Friday. But then, however, fell to Cypress College. Another tough match, losing to both Cypress College and Orange Coast in 5 sets.
Well, that's something to know.
The Tigers lead 8-6 here in this first set. Side out for Fullerton College on that last play as Samantha Swanson comes back into the game. Serving specialist here. Young freshman out of Lacerna High School. That's going to be another point for the Hornets. They now trail 8-7, bring it back within 1.
And that hit was out of play as well to give a good luck charm for the Hornets.
Noah and Jared, something that we're going to have to look out for as well is the serve. Both teams already with the service fault. Riverside Tigers doing a really good job throughout the season. They actually have 5 players with over 20 aces, so that's kind of something that Fullerton defense is going to have to be very careful of.
Speaking of service errors, that was a fault by Samantha Swanson. So make it 2 on the evening for Fullerton College.
2 faults is no good.
You're right, though, Victor. Very well-rounded team when it comes to serving, as this one going to land inbounds and for a point for the Hornets as they now trail 9-8 here in this first set.
And a really nice one, too, at that.
Nicole Tiffany in to serve. The freshman out of Whittier Christian High School teammates with Hannah Tobin, who's also a member of this Hornets team. This one is shanked by the Tigers. Another point, and the Hornets tie things back up 9 apiece in this first set.
See? Very competitive ball game.
Tiffany, jump serve with a lot of torque on that one. And this one dumped over by the middle of Riverside City College. Point for the Tigers.
And another nice hit for the Tigers indeed.
Now to serve for Riverside City College, Haley Gray. She comes in with the jump serve. Here's Frew with the backcourt attack. Romero gets this one over, but it's a free play now for the Hornets. Delgadillo dives and saves this one to keep it alive for the Hornets. Free play for Riverside City. Webb and Jenstad both went up for the block, but it got caught on their fingertips. Point for Riverside City College. They lead 11-9.
Well, that sure was something for Fullerton. Quite bad luck, I would say.
Haley Gray, the freshman out of El Medina High School. Delgadillo taps this one over. Here's Urban. Now here's Webb of the Hornets. Gets it through the double block, but Riverside City will be able to continue play as both teams rallying back and forth. Riverside City College has an 11-9 lead here in this first set. Couple Tigers hitting the deck to keep this one alive. Here's Urban again, and this one's going to be too long. Point for the Hornets. After that long rally, they now trail 11-10.
Well, that was very exciting to watch.
Noah and Jared, you guys have to keep an eye out on Karen Delgadillo. She's already tried that dump pass like 5 times. She's very deceptive with it. Let's see how many times she does that in this first set.
A little bit more aggressive than Chloe Johnson, the other setter. Both of them getting a lot of rotation minutes for this Fullerton College team during the season. And Jenstad going to pick up the point there for the Hornets with a powerful slam down.
Nice slam indeed.
Things are all tied up at 11 apiece. Faith Webb serving again for the Hornets. Back to the top of the order. This one a little knuckler. Off the ceiling, Frew's able to play it. Both teams tied up at 11 apiece. Orange Empire Conference volleyball here tonight at Colleen Riley Court as Frew gets this one home, places it right in the back left corner where no one of Riverside City College was there.
Nice hit by Frew, indeed.
That's her 3rd kill on the evening. 309 kills now on the season. This one a high arcing serve by Webb. Now we see Jenstad hit the top of the net. Riverside City scrambling. Can't get to it. It's going to hit the top ref. Good time to mention her name. Donna Hess will be the up referee in tonight's match. Gino Osborne will be the down ref in tonight's match as it's going to force Coach Monica Trainer to call a timeout for Riverside City College, the first timeout of the evening. You are listening to Fullerton College Volleyball on 90.1 KBPK. I'm Noah Alvarez, joined by Jared Hall, Victor Vasquez, and Ryan Osborne for tonight's match between two Orange Empire Conference teams. Jared, a lot of action, a lot of back and forth action. Good time out here by Riverside City College. What do you think?
That was a nice way to go because they needed the timeout because Fullerton was really starting to get a rally going, and they needed to get their groove back in.
The last time Riverside City College beat Fullerton College was back in 2018 as the Hornets have won the last three matches. The last time they won was 2017 back on November 15th. So 2 seasons ago. It's been a while since Riverside City College has beat Fullerton College here in the sport of volleyball.
Hey, that's quite a while, so we'll see how Riverside does today or tonight.
Fullerton currently up 13-11 over Riverside City College. It's an Orange Empire Conference match as we get you some of these standings for an Orange Empire Conference. As we reset the lineups, Faith Webb on the floor for the Hornets to go along with Hannah Tobin, Delgadillo, Mackenzie Genstad, Sailor Frew, and Priscilla Gutierrez. This one, they're going to say it wasn't blocked by one of the Hornet players, so it's a 4th hit violation by the Tigers. Another point for the Hornets. That's a 4-0 run.
After it was like 9-11, now it's 13-11 for the Hornets. Impressive, huh?
Impressive indeed, Jared. Fullerton coming off a 5-set loss to Cypress College last Saturday, and Hober going to pick up the point for Riverside City College, the 6'1" middle back
That
out of Norco High School.
was awesome.
She hit that with some force.
She did.
14-12 now is the score. Fullerton in the lead still. Webb gets this shot blocked by Hober. Frew gets it over the double block attempt.
Oh, the
This
ceiling.
one hits the ceiling, and it's a point for the Hornets.
That ceiling really can have an impact.
Very low ceiling here at Colleen Riley Court. We've seen it have an impact in a number of games here for the Hornets or for the opposing team.
Yep, indeed.
It's something that opposing teams definitely have to get an adjustment to when they come and play the Hornets. Another kill here by Hober. She now has 3-2 on the evening.
And a nice kill to get the Tigers back in the game.
And Noah and Jared, not only does Hober also have 2 kills, she also has 1 block as well, so she's trying to make her presence known on both ends.
Something to keep an eye on, too, with Sam Longstreet unavailable to play in tonight's game. She suffered a lower body injury last Wednesday against Cypress College. Hornets now lead 16-13 after that pass was deflected out. Still in the first set here at Colleen Riley Court.
Yep, indeed. That was an unfortunate accident for Riverside.
This one can't be digged out by Elias Romero. It's going to be another point for the Hornets. 17-13 is the score. You feel that energy shifting in favor of Fullerton College right now, Jared.
I really do feel like Fullerton's really getting their mental game on. Just like that.
Another shank by the Tigers.
Yep.
18-13 is the score. Hornets lead in this first set.
So, looks like Fullerton's finding their groove again.
A reminder, you are listening to Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. This one can't be digged out by the Tigers. Valiant effort, but it's going to be another point for Fullerton College, 19-13.
And what a nice play again by Fullerton.
Here's Karen Delgadillo with the serve. She has 13 service aces on the season. Nicole Tiffany just checked in for the Hornets a couple seconds ago. Here's Gutierrez over to Frew. This one going to be a little too long. They're asking for a tip by a Riverside City College. They're not going to get it. 19-14 is the score.
That ought to get the groove back for Riverside, I hope.
Let's see if the Tigers can find their groove. Tiffany hits this one hard and too hot for Arganda to handle. Point for the Hornets again. 20-14 is the score.
It seems like every time Riverside gets a point, the Hornets counter with a streak again.
Noah and Jared, just want to also mention that we already have 5 Hornets with a kill apiece at least in this first set.
Spread it around, and that's something you expected too with Longstreet unavailable to go in tonight's match. Can't lean on the 2 sophomores that have been doing it all year in Frew and Longstreet. Got to have some of those freshmen step up and play some big minutes tonight, as the Hornets now up 21-14 after that last point. That's going to force Coach Trainer to call a timeout by Riverside City College. You are listening and watching Fullerton College Volleyball on 90.1 KBPK. Jared Hall, Victor Vasquez alongside me, Noah Alvarez. Jared, again, we see the timeout used to kind of stop the Fullerton College momentum, but they're 4 points away. Do you think Fullerton has what it takes to close this first set out?
I honestly do, because they only need 4 points and it's 21-14. And in comparison, that would mean like 11 points to 4.
Agreed, Jared, as well. Noah, other thing you have to look out for is the ball control that Riverside has been doing right now so far. They've shanked a lot of balls. It's been a lot of deflections, and you got to give credit to the serve of Faith Webb and the rest of the Hornets in this first set.
So during this set intermission, we'll go over the conference standings a little bit later. Both teams in the Orange Empire Conference. Fullerton currently up 21-14 in this first set. Timeout just called by Riverside City. They're 11-12 on the year. 5-8 are 3 of their last 7. 3-7 in their last 10. Fullerton College 7-3 in their last 10. 13-9 on the season. 8-4 in Orange Empire Conference play. Romero gets this one over, but it's a free play now for the Hornets. Digged out by Gutierrez here. Hornets up 21-14 in this first set, trying to close things out. It's a free play now for the Tigers. Both teams coming into tonight's match shorthanded. Few injured players, and this one's going to tool out of bounds. Point for the Hornets. They go up 22-14, lead by 8.
Wow, I never thought that would be out of bounds. Because honestly, that looked like it would have been a Riverside point had it been in bounds.
It was a close call. Call made by Donna Hess, and that one hung and played with the net a little bit. Little yo-yo action. Frew was serving for the Hornets, and Tiffany hits this one in the top of the net. 4-hit violation as it comes back and hits her. Point for the Tigers.
Tiffany, 4-hit violation. Not good, not good.
Webb with the attacking chance. 2 players of Riverside City College collide into each other. Here's Josephine Sua, and Sua drops it right in the middle of Fullerton College, unable to do anything with it. They pick up another point. 22-16 is the score now.
And that was another first multi-point streak in God knows how long.
Vashti Elias Romero, the talented outside hitter for Riverside City College, to serve. She has 26 service aces on the season. Free play now for the Hornets as they get it to their outside. Webb, and Webb can't punch it over. Hits the top of the net. 22-17, Hornets still have a lead, and after 3 straight points by the Tigers, that's going to force Megan Glennie to call a timeout. You are listening and watching to Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK.
Well, you see, I can see that Riverside is starting to find their momentum after being down by a couple, so they really are starting to get their mental game on like Fullerton did earlier in the game. So there we go.
Fullerton College lost 7 of the they're 7-3 in their last 10, have lost 3 of the past 4, however, all 3 coming at home. 1 to Irvine Valley College in 3 sets. a tough one to Orange Coast College in 5 sets, and then last Wednesday to Cypress College, and we were here for that one most recently in 5 sets as well.
Yeah, no, and this is one of the things that I was very intrigued by after that Wednesday's match against Cypress Chargers. I want to see how the Hornets can kind of respond to that type of a loss or being close up in a first set. They had about an 8-point lead. Now it's only up to 5. Can they close it out and try to get this first set? That's the kind of mindset that I want to see and improve as they go into playoffs.
And only 3 sophomores on this team. It's a really young, freshman-heavy team here at Fullerton College. And that's something that you are bound to expect when talking with coaches Megan Glenny and Philip Tomicic. Sometimes the consistency in getting these girls to be consistent is part of the challenge as they grow and try and gain chemistry together as the season progresses. You see Hornets picking up another point there. 23-17 is the score, 2 points away from closing out this first set. But we've seen it. Against Cypress College, really slow start in that first set. They ended up winning that first set, though. And we saw it against Orange Coast College plenty of times where they got really bad starts or really bad finishes to sets. And so getting consistency out of this girls has been a challenge for the coaching staff here at Fullerton College. Another point picked up by the Hornets, lead now 24-17, 1 point away from closing things out.
Oh, wow, one more point. One more point should do it.
Samantha Swanson to serve for the Hornets. Here's Sua. Now Webb responds. Digged out. Can it get played over? No, it's going to be outside the antenna. And that's how Fullerton College wraps up this first set by a final score of 25-17. A reminder, you are listening and watching to Fullerton College Volleyball on 90.1 KBPK. Noah Alvarez joined by Victor Vasquez, Jared Hall, Ryan Osborne. Can't forget Corey Nalen and Mark Pavlovich, who are also helping out with the broadcast. We want to thank everybody that's listening and tuning in to the match right now. The Hornets win by a final score of 25-17. Victor, go ahead and give us some stats from that first set.
Sure thing, Noah. Just to recap, the first set was 25-17 in favor for Fullerton. You have 2 Hornets players with 3 kills apiece. No surprise, the players I mentioned in the pregame, Sailor Frew and Faith Webb, so they both have 3 kills apiece.
So let's go ahead and take a look at those conference standings in the Orange Empire Conference that I mentioned earlier. Irvine Valley sits at top of the conference at an undefeated 12-0. They've been perfect, no blemishes on the year, really have the ball rolling. Ryan and I were both here for this game 2 Wednesdays ago, and they just look like an unstoppable force. Orange Coast College, they sit in second place, 10-3 on the season, while Cypress College now has a tie for third place with Fullerton College, both teams at 8-4. Cypress College has the better regular season record. Both teams split the regular season series. So tiebreaker does go in favor to Cypress College. Golden West College, 6-6 in Orange Empire Conference. They're in 5th place. Riverside City College, they're at 5-8. That's the team you're watching tonight. They're in 6th place. And in 7th place, Saddleback College, who we'll see next Wednesday on 90.1 KBPK. They're 4-8 in the OEC. Santa Ana College rounds things off at 2-11, while Santiago Canyon sits at the bottom of the conference at 1-12.
Very interesting how this is going to play out, especially first time Riverside Tigers faced off against Fullerton early on this year. They lost in 3 sets. As we have just another update, we have women's water polo. They won. Fullerton actually won against Golden West 10-3 with the final score. Hornets will play Riverside City tomorrow at 3:10 p.m. in Golden West's pool to decide the Orange Empire Conference title winner.
So we'll have the Tigers and the Hornets again tomorrow. Water polo action, the very talented water polo team, head coached by Gabriel Martinez. Had them go all the way to the state tournament last season. They lose in a close one. It's a heartbreaking fashion, but they returned 8 of their 11 top scorers from last year. So you have a beautiful team and a very team that's hungry to win all the way in the state championship. Very experienced as well.
Noah, the key word, hungry. That's the key word. You have so many returning players that wanted to win that state championship, and they have that taste in their mouth of losing last year. So it's going to be very exciting to watch this women's water polo team.
A reminder, you are listening and watching Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. Hornets won the first set by a final score of 25-17. I'm Noah Alvarez, joined by Victor Vasquez, Jared Hall, and Ryan Osborne for tonight's match between two Orange Empire Conference teams. We're just about ready for the second set here as we get you the 6 on the floor for both teams.
So for the Riverside Tigers, we have Hober. We also have Collier, as well as Arganda, Elias Romero, Gray. And for the Fullerton Hornets, we have Delgadillo, Genstad, as well as Sailor Fru, Tobin, and Gutierrez. As play continues for both teams, is now Delgadillo setting it up for Sailor Fru for the back attack. It's deflected, and it hits the hardwood for a point for the Fullerton Hornets. The score now is 1-0. Start of this second set. Faith Webb serving for Fullerton. Webb again leading the Hornets in aces as little miscommunication, ball placement way too high for Hober on that one. She couldn't reach it.
Yeah, it looks like she mistimed her jump too, and looks like her momentum was carrying her forward. Ball was floating to her left, and she couldn't make that mid-air adjustment. Pretty tough.
So now the score is 2-0 here in this second set. Faith Webb continuing to serve. She had 3 kills in that first set, as well as a few blocks. As here comes nice little finesse shot for the Riverside Tigers as Collier completes that one.
We've seen the Tigers attack that spot a few times in tonight's action. We saw Cypress College do it a lot. The Chargers had a lot of success doing those little dink and dumps over that block attempt by Fullerton College front line.
Tobin now giving it off. Now Genstad tries to go with a nice cross-court shot, but goes out of bounds. So now the score is tied 2-2 in this second set, as it's going to be Urban for the Tigers serving. Tries a nice little float serve, and it works to perfection as Fullerton is not able to return it.
That's one of the strengths of this Fullerton College team. We don't see them make too many receiving errors on the season. One of the best in the conference.
Urban continues to serve. She has 25 aces coming into this game as Delgadillo tries the dump shot. Saw her do that as the ball hit the top of the ceiling, hits the floor. Point for Fullerton.
It actually looked like it hit one of the lights up there in the ceiling too. It actually continued to spin. A lot of times we see it hit the ceiling and then stop the spin, come down with a lot of velocity. That one still continued to spin, so a little different material that it hit over on the light fixture.
As we have substitutions for both teams, we have Sua for the Tigers coming in, and we have Alexis Sander for the Hornets, as Genstad with a great serve right down the middle of the court for another ace.
Yeah, that was a nice serve. It had a lot of sinking action as it crossed the net, and Genstad was one of those players that we saw step up big time against Cypress College. As soon as Longstreet went out, the freshman middle out of Troy High School had 11 kills in the match. She also finished with 3 service aces too.
Fullerton up by 1, 4-3. Has a nice little kill to the back row by Elias Romero for the Tigers.
She now has 4 kills on the evening.
She's continuing to find her spots, having success for the Tigers as Arganda ready to serve. Second set here at Colleen Riley Court. We're tied 4-4 as Delgadillo setting up far side for Fru down the line.
And what I like about Fru's approach there, she looked like she was going to come up with a lot of velocity, then kind of slowed herself right down on the approach. So she got the Tigers thinking, hey, it's going to be a little tap or a dink or a dunk. Instead, she just forces it home. Nice change of speeds there by Fru.
As we have Delgadillo, the Swiss Army knife for the Fullerton Hornets, as the ball is going to be actually point for Fullerton. It seems like the ball ended up going over the net on that one. So now Fullerton again with another side out. Delgadillo back to serve.
That's going to go down as a service ace.
As I mentioned before, Delgadillo doing it all on the court. She's got blocks as Elias Romero with another powerful smash, and she gets another kill for the Tigers.
Her and Fru are going back and forth. 5 kills apiece for Fru and Elias Romero. 2 of Orange Empire Conference's best.
As we have Collier serving. Now it's Fru on the near side attack for Fullerton. As Elias Romero back-to-back kills. Ties this second set up 6-6. As it's going to be Collier for the Tigers, serving once more. Much more contested in this second set between both teams as Sailor Fru soars in for the attack. Now, nice another strike by Collier and ends up not being returnable for the Hornets. Another point for the Tigers. They're on a 3-point streak right now.
But you mentioned it. It's back and forth in this first set. And it was back and forth in the first set, too. Things were tied up at 11 apiece when Fullerton College went on that 8-0 run before they really took control of that first set. But things really back and forth, like you said, in this second set as well.
As Collier hits that one right into the net. So now this set is tied 7-7 once more. As Sailor Fru ready to serve. Nice dump shot by Gray. As play continues. And it's going to be a kill for Sierra Scott of the Tigers. No, it seems like more and more of the Tiger outside hitters are finding success in this second set.
Yeah, it looks like the Hornets are a little slow when it comes to making those block attempts. Haven't been put in the right position. You like the adjustments made by the Riverside City coaching staff.
As Faith Webb is able to deflect that one off the defender. Tie this set up 8-8. As we have Alexis Zander headed to the bench. And we have Samantha Swanson and Mackenzie Jenstad back on the court for the Hornets. Swanson serving it out for Fullerton. As Gray is going to set it up now for Sua. It's going to be a free play for the Hornets. As Faith Webb, far side, tries the attack. But the defense of the Tigers was successful until that ball ends up going back onto the side of the Tigers for a point for Fullerton.
Yeah, it hits the antenna too, so an unfortunate bounce for the Tigers.
So now Fullerton up by 1, 9-8. Swanson back on serve. As Gray now going to set up right in the middle of the court for Scott. Now Faith Webb tries a nice little floating shot. Joust at the middle of the net. Free play now for Fullerton. Delgadillo trying to win that joust as the rally continues, and it ends with the ball stuffed to the net against the Hornets, actually.
And that play made there by Webb, it looked like she didn't have an attacking opportunity. I thought she was going to bump it over, but then last minute she decides to go for an attacking opportunity. Kind of caught her off guard too because it was a deflected pass. Wasn't really a pass on the spot to her.
As the ball ends up clipping and then off of the serve by Scott of the Tigers, and a block by Sua to give the Tigers a lead in this second set.
Sua now picks up her 9th block on the season.
Tigers are up by 1, 10-9. As Scott serving. Now it's Fullerton setting it up for Webb as her shot ends up getting blocked, but it's actually going to be 4 hits against Fullerton, so another point for the Tigers.
Yeah, didn't hit. Actually, did hit the top of the net. Didn't get the right angle on that if you're Fru.
So now we have Scott serving once more. Delgadillo setting up middle of the court for Jenstad, but it's going to be out of bounds, point for the Tigers. And that's going to lead to a timeout made by Coach Glennie as the Tigers have a 3-point lead in this second set. The score is 12-9. You're watching Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. My name is Victor Vasquez, alongside Noah Alvarez and Jared Hall, as well as Ryan Osborne. Noah, what do you think so far of this second set? It seems like the Tigers have a lot more energy than they had in that first set. What do you think is going right for them?
Well, it looks like they've been able to execute their offensive plays with a lot of success. They're attacking the areas that the Hornets weren't necessarily prepared for in that first set, but now they're exploiting them here in the second set. You were seeing them in the first set. The Tigers were hitting it right into the blocks or the double blocks by the Hornets defense. Now they're seeing a little bit more opportunities. Did a nice job, like I said, whether it was Monica Traynor, the head coach, or the assistant head coach, Elizabeth Younglove. Both of them made an adjustment for this team heading into the second set, and now they're attacking areas of Fullerton College that appear to be weaknesses.
As we have both teams headed back to the court after this timeout, the score is 12-9 in this second set here at Colleen Riley Court. The Riverside Tigers with a 3-point lead so far. As we reset the lineups for you, we have Scott. We also have Elias Romero. We have Collier, Sua, as the ball ends up hitting the net off of the Scott serve. And to finish off the lineup for the Tigers, we have Gray and Hober. Score is 12-10. Tigers still up by 2 as Tiffany for the Hornets serving. She's getting more play time since the injury to Longstreet.
Yeah, she was one of those players that Megan Glennie said are going to have to step up in order for this team to continue and finish the season strong.
As the rally continues, and it ends up being a successful, nice dump pass from Sailor Frew that gets the point for the Hornets.
Yeah, Frew's so talented in many different areas. We see her getting assists for this team. She's second on the digs. She leads the conference in kills. She's also third in the conference with service aces. There's nothing that she can't do.
As Tiffany tries a nice little float serve. Fullerton down by 1, 12-11, as the block by Karen Delgadillo stops the attack of Sua.
And it wasn't a clean joust. It looked like both of those players were going to go up at the same time, and it was going to be a joust at the top. But Sua got there first. Delgadillo got there second. She said, "This is my house. That's my point."
This second set is tied now with a great serve by Tiffany. Sets up the attack for Fullerton, as it seemed a miscommunication between Frew and Tiffany. Both tried to jump for that kill, ended up going out of bounds.
And that play was made by the diving dig by Elias Romero. Looked like with all her momentum, she was going to slide past that front line, and that would have been a violation for her. But she had the whereabouts to not only make the dig, hit the floor, lay out, but stop right before she gets to that line.
As Gray for the Tigers is serving, but it ends with a Genstad strike down the middle of the heart, actually the heart of the defense for the Tigers. As the score is tied up again, 13-all in this second set. Faith Webb serving.
Genstad's third kill on the evening, unofficial stats.
As we have the Tigers now setting up. Nice little dink shot right there for the Tigers. And now it's going to be Sua from the far side, but her shot gets rejected. And now free play for the Hornets, and it's going to be Frew with a cutting shot, but a great dig made by Collier that saves this rally. But it doesn't matter there because Frew's attack is too strong.
Little surprise, too. It looked like you said that Collier was a nice save, but I thought she was going to get called for the lift there. She had an open palm, too, and you sometimes see with that one-handed dig attempt, that get called in a lift.
As Fullerton takes the lead once more in this second set, 14-13 is the score. Faith Webb continuing to serve. And now it's Gray serving it up to Hober, and Hober, it's too quick of that set. Did not give the defense of Fullerton enough time to prepare for that strike.
Yeah, and Hober has been relatively quiet here in this second set. It seemed like the Tigers are going away from her offensively, but then, sure enough, as soon as we think that, there she is.
As Delgadillo setting it up far side for Frew, but it hits the antenna, so it'll be point for the Tigers, who once again take the lead away from the Hornets. Score is 15-14 in this second set. As Sua serving for the Tigers. Now it's going to be Gray setting it up for Collier, and there's another miscommunication in the back row between Tobin and Faith Webb. Ended up unreturnable, so now it's a 2-point lead for the Tigers.
Yeah, it looked like from our angle, if Webb didn't go for that one, Tobin was going to be able to get that one cleanly with two hands.
So now it's Delgadillo setting it up for Frew. Her attack gets deflected. Now Arganda giving it off to Collier. Collier thought she had the kill, but it was a nice save by Webb. And now here comes Elias Romero to finish it off down the line.
And if you saw there, she took the first hit. She actually passed it so the setter then could set it up for herself. she's a do-it-all player and really talented one.
And that do-it-all kind of attitude is giving these Tigers an opportunity to try to take this second set.
She entered tonight's match third in the conference with 234 kills, fourth in the conference, averaging 3.49 kills per set.
Sua continues to serve for the Riverside Tigers. A nice little back set by Karen Delgadillo leads to the kill for the Hornets. As the Hornets still down by 2 though in this second set. The score is 17-15. Genstad ready to serve. Genstad able to get it over right above the net, and Gray tried to dig that one out but could not reach it. Now Hornets within 1 point in this second set, 17-16. Tigers are still up. Genstad still serving for the Hornets as he tries too much on that one and ends up going out of bounds.
And there you see good communication and good court awareness by that back line of the Riverside City defense.
As Arganda now serving for the Tigers. Riverside with a 2-point lead in this second set. She tries to float serve, but look at Priscilla Gutierrez laying the body down on the court, but not able to return it over the net for the Hornets. So it's going to be a timeout for Coach Megan Glennie as the Riverside Tigers are currently up by 3. 19-16 is the score in this second set. You're watching Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK.
You know, for a team that's really good at service aces, it took them a while to get their first one on the evening, that last one there by Sadie Arganda, libero on this team. But entering the season, they had 176 as a team, the Tigers did, which is good for second in Orange Empire Conference play, right behind the undefeated Irvine Valley College.
And Noah, you bring up a great point. Considering that they have about 5 players with over 20 aces, you'd think that they'd be having a lot more success and not getting their first ace in the second set. But if we look back at their game against the Hornets in October, they actually only had 2 aces in those three sets actually. So that just shows you the great rotational defense that Fullerton has going forward. Let's see what they can keep doing and keep kind of minimalizing and neutralizing the serve for the Tigers.
Well, the Fullerton Hornets, we've talked with Coach Megan Glennie a bunch of times this season. She says the strength of her team is receiving the ball. They actually have 7 receiving errors on the season. Riverside has over 100, and a lot of other teams do. So they're one of the best returning teams in the state entering tonight's match. So this is a different kind of team that Riverside City College is going up against.
We're back from the timeout. Riverside still on top by 3 as there's a nice joust at the net, and it's going to be in favor for the Tigers as they now take a 4-point lead in this second set. The score is 20-16. Tigers on top. Arganda serving. Sua. Elias Romero. Gray. As it's going to be a service fault for Arganda. So that'll be a point in favor of Fullerton. Score is 20-17. To finish off the lineups, you also have Gray. And you also have Collier and Scott, as it ends up being back-to-back service faults for both teams. So serve now going right back to the Tigers.
Yeah, tough break for Fullerton College. If you're looking to start a rally going and bring things closer, you don't want to see yourself give away points like that.
It's now the float serve for Collier. Another miscommunication as Gutierrez, no other option but to bump it over, ends up going out of bounds.
Yeah, the Hornets look a little bit discombobulated. We may see Coach Megan Glennie use another timeout here soon.
Gutierrez actually got bumped from behind by Sailor Frew. Frew didn't see her right in front of her, ends up bumping into her, taking away the momentum.
As it ends up being a kill down the line for Sailor Frew to cut the deficit to 4 for the Hornets. The score is 22-18 in this second set.
Frew had a monster game against Cypress College on Wednesday. 19 kills in that game. She got off to a really hot start and seemed to cool things off as soon as Longstreet went out, but still finished with an impressive amount of kills.
Elias Romero with a powerful smash and unreturnable for the Hornets. So now the score is 23-18. Tigers with a 5-point lead in this second set. 2 points from taking this second set and evening up the match. As Elias Romero serving. Now it's Delgadillo setting up Faith Webb. Webb with a nice brush shot, but now here comes Sua. And what a save by Delgadillo, but nothing the Fullerton Hornets could do with that. So now the score is 24-18. Game point for the Riverside Tigers as Elias Romero is waiting to serve, as we're actually getting the chair umpire actually calling to have the side of the floor cleaned up. That way any of the players don't slip, trying to protect them at all costs. As it's a Riverside side out. Elias Romero with the serve. Now Xander tries to strike down the court, but Sua getting that ball over. The attack now set up for Faith Webb and the Hornets, but it gets blocked, and that's going to end it with the block by Sierra Scott. And that is how the second set ends. Scores 25-18, and this match is all tied up. Noah, what were the things that kind of stood out to you in that second set for both teams?
Well, I'm going to go ahead into that last play. Sierra Scott had 2 big blocks in that second set. She has 4 blocks on the evening, and this middle, you could say the middle for the opposing the team, the Tigers, they have the advantage with Longstreet being out, the sophomore middle for Fullerton College, unable to go tonight. And we've seen her really be the enforcer, right? I mean, to switch things up to a little bit of basketball that's also going on this season, just starting now for Fullerton College. We saw Ronnie Reedus, the center for this men's team. He was really the enforcer down low. He was the defensive player of the year in the Orange Empire Conference. And Sam Longstreet did a little bit of the same stuff, right? When you see her in that middle, she's able to power it home. She's able to block opponents' shots. And she's able to just really control the tempo and set the pace for this Fullerton team, a very young Fullerton team. So you want to keep an eye on that going forward for the middles and the opposing hitters for this Riverside City team with Longstreet out tonight.
Just to recap, we're here at Colleen Riley Court. The first set was in favor of Fullerton as they took it 25-17. But in that second set, it was the play of Elias Romero and Hober that were able to give enough points and enough of an attack for Riverside to gain some momentum and take that second set 25-18, tying this match up 1 set apiece. Noah, this is where I kind of start thinking, where is the mindset for the Fullerton Hornets? I understand that, you know, they've already had a couple of tough losses in 5 sets. They lost one of their star players in Longstreet. Do you think that creeps up anything into their mind, thinking, okay, we can't get into these kind of situations again, can we?
I think it does. I think it's their mindset's a little bit all over the place. They were riding, it's hard not to talk about it because they were riding such high on emotion with that 8-game win streak, then have a comeback down to earth unlike no other when they go against the top team in the nation at Irvine Valley College. Lose a tough one to Orange Coast, lose another tough one to Cypress, and you look at this game already, the pattern it's going. First set goes to Fullerton, next set goes to Riverside City College. And games that it's gone to 5 sets this year, Fullerton's 0-3, so that doesn't favor. They need to come out and really grab a hold if they want to expect to win tonight's match. And if you're Riverside City College, well, you want to go back and forth. You want to just hang in there because we've seen in the past, and I'm sure Riverside City has seen in the past as well, that Fullerton College doesn't get off to the best of starts in that 5th set. So if they can force it to a 5th set and get off to that hot start, they're going to be in the driver's seat.
As we have the 3rd set just about to begin. Riverside Tigers already on the floor. We have Hober. We also have Collier, as well as Urban, Arganda, Elias Romero, and Gray. As for the Fullerton Hornets, we have Genstad, Sailor Frew. We also have Alexis Zander, Hannah Tobin, and to close it all off, we have Chloe Johnson now as a setter. And just when I mentioned the lineups, there's already a switch for the Hornets. So it's actually Priscilla Gutierrez coming in for Alexis Zander.
Yeah, the libero substitution works a little bit differently compared to the other substitutions. But those are the starting 6 on the floor for the Hornets. Webb to serve, the team's leading ace getter. She picks up the first point there. 1-0 is the score.
And again, I feel like I'm repeating myself all these times, but it's very important for the Fullerton Hornets to have success on their serves in order to set up their attacks.
Webb, drop shot there. You love to see it. No movement, and it just drops right as soon as it crosses the net. Hornets lead now 2-0 early on in this first set. Things are tied up at 1 set apiece if you're just tuning in. Hornets took the first set by a final score of 25-17. Riverside City College took the second set by a final score of 25-18. Looks like they tapped the antenna there. It's going to be a point for the Hornets. They now lead 3-0 in this third set. Here's Webb still serving. Here's Genstad. They're going to call a violation. 2-hit, double hit. And it's going to be a point, the first point of this third set for Riverside City.
Unfortunate for Fullerton as Genstad had a good look right in the middle with that attack, but couldn't get that point for Fullerton.
So now here's Jasmine Urban, one of the sophomores, one of the few sophomores on this team. And there's going to be a point picked up there by Frew on the kill.
She's already has 10 points in this match so far. Would not be surprised if she's leading this match again with kills, as she's done multiple times this season.
And it's worth mentioning, because you mentioned at the beginning of the show, Frew was closing in on the kills, most kills in a single season, as the Tigers pick up another point there. For the most kills in a single season set by a Fullerton College volleyball player, she now has the record. It's previously set by Amanda Henderson last year, who had 312. 10 kills, on the evening. Now puts her at 316 on the year. Here's Xander, the 6'4" middle, using her left hand to get this one over. Riverside City responds, gets it through the double block, and this one looked like it was going to hit the bottom of the net, and I think Hannah Tobin thought so too. Instead, it's a point for the Tigers.
You love how she was already anticipating it. She already had the good reflexes. She was in good position, waiting for that ball to hit the net. Unlucky for her that the ball didn't hit it at all. Point for the Tigers.
So a rare ball handling error by the Hornets. 4-3 is the score. And this one's going to be deflected off the wall, set by Sierra Scott. Point for the Hornets as they go up 5-3. See Tobin checking out for Nicole Tiffany, freshman at a Whittier Christian High School. One of those freshmen expected to get big minutes in the absence of Sam Longstreet. This one going to be set and passed too wide for Sailor Frew. It's going to go out of bounds. It's going to be a point for the Tigers.
Chloe Johnson with that setup threw it way too close to the net. Again, she didn't play in the first or second set, so she's still trying to get that feel for the game.
Yeah, again, we didn't see that as the Hornets get called for a double hit. Another point for the Tigers. 5-5 is the score in this third set. But we didn't see that up until the Cypress game on Wednesday, when she made the call, Coach Megan Glennie made the call to substitute Karen Delgadillo for Chloe Johnson in the fourth set. Hornets had a little offensive spark and went on to win that fourth set. Here, after 2 sets of Karen Delgadillo, Chloe Johnson now going to come in. Both freshman setters on this team, splitting the action throughout the season. And it's going to be a point for the Hornets. They now lead 6-5.
No, what I like about this is that Alexis Zander is getting her opportunity to just create some type of disruption for the Riverside Tigers. Yes, she might not get a lot of deflections when she goes up for the blocks, but she's at least creating some type of a presence and barricade to not allow them to get easy kills.
It's a service error by Frew, goes wide left. Things are all tied up at 6 apiece. Side out for the Tigers. Here's Elias Romero. Johnson over to Webb. This one partially shanked over to the bench of Riverside City College. And Collier wasn't willing to lay out for that one. Point for the Hornets.
Very tough for her to return on that one. She's about to hit the bench. She was almost about to hit Mark Pavlovich, guy running the cameras here.
Yeah, we got to protect him at all cost and protect the equipment at all cost. Don't want the radio station getting mad over that one. So Hornets lead 7-6. Tigers run a decoy play, and they are able to pick up the point, tie things up back at 7 apiece as the ball skids over to the desk.
Great job by the Riverside Tigers. Ended up being Scott hitting that ball right in between the gap of the two blockers in order to get that point for the Tigers.
7-7 is the score. Webb tries to get this one over, but it's going to be wide right. All sorts of miscommunication there by the Hornets. And Webb comes up a little bit gingerly.
I was just going to say, she looked like she took a hard hit, trying to make an impressive dive and dig for that one.
Sierra Scott still serving. This one's going to go long. Frew had the awareness. That's going to be a point for the Hornets, 8 apiece in this third set.
Great reaction by Frew, because it almost seemed like she was ready to kind of bump that ball to one of her teammates. Great court awareness to know that that ball is going to be too long.
The sophomore bounce back from Northern Arizona University, making big plays already for this Hornets team in tonight's match. Free play now for the Hornets. Let's see what they could do. Genstad from the middle. Tigers are able to respond. It's another free play for Fullerton College. This time it's Webb from the left side. Riverside City was ready for that one. Both teams rallying back and forth. Teams are tied at 8 apiece, except Frew hits that one into the bottom of the net. Point now for the Tigers.
It just kind of seemed like Frew wasn't ready for that ball to come at her way. She didn't come with full momentum and speed, which is why she buried that one right into the net.
And you got to come with a different approach, because you can't hit it with that same angle if you're trying to make a backcourt attack like Frew was there. So now serving is Haley Gray. Haley Gray. And the Tigers pick up the point after that play. They now lead 10-8.
That's already Hober's 5th kill of this match so far.
The 6'1 freshman out of Norco High School entered tonight's match with 62 kills. One of those players who got a lot more playing time as the season progressed. Didn't play a whole lot in the beginning. Coming up big for the Tigers. Both teams trading back and forth. Johnson setting things up. Genstad from the middle. Tigers respond. This one's tapped. Genstad was ready. Diving dig there by Elias Romero. Here's Frew from the back court. Partially tipped by Hober. Tigers, can they keep it alive? Yes, they can. We're going on a full minute here. This one hanging on the net. Here's Frew again from the back court. She pushes this one forward. Here's Webb. Webb gets the tool out of bounds, and that's a point for the Hornets. 10-9 is the score.
Great defense played by both squads on that one, trying to keep that rally alive as much as possible, but it ends with Faith Webb blasting that one right off of the defender.
A reminder, you are watching Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. Noah Alvarez joined by Victor Vasquez, Jared Hall, and Ryan Osborne for tonight's match. That's going to be a point for the Tigers. They now lead 11-9 here in this third set. Things are all tied up at 1 set apiece.
What set up that point for the Tigers was Gray's little quick set right above the net to give Hober the chance to just slam that ball down.
So now to serve for the Tigers is Urban, and Frew's going to pick up the kill there with a powerful slam. Both her and her former high school teammate, Hober, are battling back and forth. Frew now has 12 kills on the evening. Her former teammate, Hober, has 6. And even though Frew is from the Inland Empire Conference in the Inland Empire area, she grew up and played in club program, was coached by Megan Glennie as a 14-year-old. As this point's going to go in favor of Riverside City College. So after things didn't work out for her at Northern Arizona University, she decides to come back to the community college level and hit up an old coach that she really enjoyed playing for back at the club level.
Frew also had a lot of success in high school as well, being an all-time player all 4 years. They just have also setting the record for most kills in a match in high school with 25 kills.
Yeah, it's her court awareness, and she works really hard when talking with her teammates too. She really sets the example and is a really good role model when it comes to the off-season conditioning and getting her body in the best of shape to withstand a volleyball season. As this point is going to go in favor of Fullerton, bringing the score even, 12 apiece, and that's going to force Elizabeth Younglove, the coach over at Riverside City College, to call a timeout. Things are tied up at 12 apiece in the third set. A reminder, you are watching Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. We want to welcome both Hornet and Tiger fans watching online. I'm Noah Alvarez, joined by Victor Vasquez, Jared Hall, and Ryan Osborne. And can't forget Mark Pavlovich, the voice of Fullerton College football. They have a big game coming up tomorrow against El Camino College. Victor, we've seen a lot of Frew tonight. We've seen a lot of Hober. But who are some of these other players that have stood out in tonight's match thus far?
Well, if we start for the Tigers, you got to go with Elias Romero. She already has 8 kills so far, and she just has a good knack to find that line. Either if she's attacking from the near side of the court or from the far side of the court, likes to go down the line. And she'll, sometimes kind of throw in that cutting shot or cross-court shot to get some points. But that is another player you have to look out for the Riverside Tigers. Now, for the Fullerton Hornets, you got to look at Mackenzie Genstad. She has, not only does she have 3 kills, but she also has 4 blocks so far in this match. So she's having an impact on both sides of the floor.
So let's go ahead and update you on some of those games going on in the Orange Empire Conference. Saddleback College currently has a 1-set lead over Golden West. That's currently in the second set. No score update from Irvine Valley and Orange Coast College just yet, but that game tipped off at 6. This point's going to be too long. Point for Riverside City College.
Webb trying, like the idea that she was trying to do, try to hit that back line of the hardwood, but too much momentum on her side. Flying in there, too strong of a shot.
And the other Orange Empire Conference game of the night, Santa Ana College takes on Cypress College, a team we just saw last Wednesday. Double hit violation, going to be a point for the Hornets. You are watching Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. Frew now to serve for the Hornets after the side out. Here's Elias Romero, and she powers this one through the block of Tiffany. Point for the Tigers. Both teams going back and forth.
Noah, what I liked about that play is the deception that they had. They threw Sierra Scott up in the air, making it seem like she was going to hit it from the middle. Instead, give it off to the outside hitter, gets the point.
Good play decoy there. Elias Romero hits this one hard. Looked like it was going to go a little long off the hands of Gutierrez. She shanks that one. Point for the Tigers.
This is where you have to be very careful if you're the Fullerton Hornets. You're down by 2, but Tigers can get on a quick run, especially with this type of ball control.
Webb unable to make a clean pass after that one. Going to force Megan Glennie to call a timeout. 3-0 run by the Tigers as they now hold a 16-3 lead here in this third set. You are listening to Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. I'm Noah Alvarez, joined by Ryan Osborne, Victor Vasquez, and Jared Hall for tonight's match between 2 Orange Empire Conference teams. Fullerton 7-3 in their last 10 games, but it's felt like they've lost a little bit of their mojo as we hit towards the tail end of the season.
And that's one thing you start thinking about, Noah, is that, okay, you had a nice 8-game win streak, 6 of them coming away from Colleen Riley Court. So is it, playing in front of your home fans, that's that kind of having a factor in what you're playing? Also, big factors when you face off against the #1 team in the nation, when you're on such a high of a roll and you lose in straight sets, you start maybe doubting some of the abilities that you have. But what I love about Coach Glenn is that she's kind of keeping her ladies strong, letting them know, and especially when I talked to her many times throughout the season, how she tries to put a strong focus in the practice, letting them know, trying to put them in game-type situations so that they can be ready for situations like this. But you're right, the last couple of weeks, it's been tough to kind of see them struggle when it comes down late into these sets where they're only a few points away from either taking it or tying it up, and they end up giving it away. So hopefully they can try to learn from those experiences and grow as a team.
And that's the thing when you have a really young team like the Fullerton College Hornets do. there's going to be a lot of growing pains, and we're seeing some of those here, especially in those tightly contested games where they go 5 sets. We've seen the Hornets get off to really slow starts in those 5th sets. There's a couple things they need to work on, but if all their players return, this should be a really good team and really experienced team going into next season. Still plenty of volleyball to play this season, however, as the Tigers pick up another point here, go up 17-13 now in this 3rd set. Elias Romero still to serve. Standing serve. A lot of players use that jump serve. She chooses to go from the standing position. A few Tigers hit the deck, but they can't get this one over, so it's a point for the Hornets. 17-14. Hornets trail by 3.
Xander with a great strike, off-pace shot on that one. Seemed like she was going to blast it down, fooled the defense, and got that unreturnable ball and a point for the Hornets.
It's the second to last home game for the Hornets on the season. We'll be here for their final home game next Wednesday against Saddleback College. We'll be also having our own, very own KBPK's all-conference team. Victor Vasquez, Ryan Osborne, and I. Tigers lead 17-14 here, as both Swanson and Frew both hit that one, so it's a 4th hit violation. Looks like Frew took that one off the face, off the eye socket almost, as they now trail 18-14. Tigers are in command here of this 3rd set. Sierra Scott now to serve. High arcing serve. Frew has to hit the deck to get this one. Here's the play for Urban. Urban tries to go up for the block. Dinosaur digs this one out. Tigers are able to get this one over. Johnson, unaware where the ball was, right over her, and Urban used her awareness to slam this one home.
And that was a little bit of a mishit by Tiffany on that one. She tried to hit that one, set up one of her teammates. Instead, the ball goes right over the net and gives Hober the chance to just slam that one down. Let me reset the lineups for you for Fullerton. You have Genstad, Tiffany, Delgadillo, Gutierrez, Frew, and Webb.
As Genstad picks up the point from the middle position. 6 on the floor for the Tigers.
We have Hober, Gray. You also have Urban, Collier, Elias Romero, and Arganda.
Nicole Tiffany now to serve for the Hornets. They trail 19-15 in this 3rd set. Riverside City starting to pull away slowly. Genstad taps this one home. Arganda makes a nice diving dig. This one's going to go inbounds. Frew thought it was going to go out. Lands in, and instead the Tigers now have a 5-point lead, 20-15 towards the end of this 3rd set. Megan Glennie, the head coach of Fullerton Volleyball, is going to call another timeout. So you are watching Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. Noah Alvarez joined by Victor Vasquez, Jared Hall, and Ryan Osborne, and Mark Pavlovich for tonight's match between 2 Orange Empire Conference teams. 2 teams going back and forth all night long.
That's exactly right, Noah. Back and forth. You see one team getting some momentum, and then the other team starts coming back in this set. Very similar to the last 2 matches that we've been covering here for the Fullerton Hornets. Got to be very careful. I mean, we talked about it right now on that violation by the Hornets when the ball ended up hitting Sailor Frew right in the eye. She seemed like she was a little disturbed with that one. Let's hope that doesn't have an effect from her vision and her awareness when she's playing in this 3rd set.
So just to recap, if you're just tuning in or you're tuning in a little late, Fullerton College won that 1st set by a final score of 25-17. Riverside bounced back and won the 2nd set by a final score of 25-18. Both sets were back and forth. Both teams were able to pull away midway through the set. And now Riverside City College has a 20-15 lead, and we're starting to see them pull away towards the middle of this set. If you're the Hornets, you don't want to go 5 sets. You got to find a way to come back. It'll be Haley Gray, the freshman out of El Medina High School, to serve. Here's Webb. And this one's going to tool out of bounds, but off the double block by Delgadillo and Genstad. Point for the Tigers.
Great job by the Tigers to The nice swing to just try to get that wipe right off of Karen Delgadillo and Genstad.
Gray still serving for the Tigers. Riverside City still has the lead in Genstad. Tapped over the line. Another point. Excuse me, it's going to be a point for Fullerton. Riverside City stepped over the line. Side out for Fullerton College. Tigers lead 21-16. Webb now serving it again, so the top of the rotation for Fullerton College. Delgadillo over to Frew. Frew hits this right into the top of the net. Lands on the side of the Hornets, and they now trail 22-16.
She had a good look at that one. Just unfortunate that she buried that one right into the top of the net.
Jasmine Urban will serve, sophomore opposite hitter from Norco High School. Another teammate of Frew and Hober. And the point's going to go to the Hornets after that last play. They now lead 22-17, Riverside City.
Hober now on that play. She jumped a little too early on that one. Hit that ball. Back-to-back hits that bury into the net for both teams.
Genstead now to serve for the Hornets. They are on the floor with Webb, Tobin, Delgadillo, Frew, and Xander. Frew able to dig this one out, but none of her teammates are right there. We see a couple of her teammates in Delgadillo and Tobin collide with each other. We hope they're okay. 23-17, the Tigers lead. On the floor, they have Arganda. They have Scott, Urban, Gray, Elias Romero, and Collier round off the 6 on the floor. Free play now for the Hornets. And Xander picks up the kill for the Hornets. They now trail 23-18.
Collier on that one, she went full 360, turned around, didn't even know where the ball was, and she almost was able to punch it for a point for the Tigers.
Quick cat-like reflexes by Collier, but to no avail as Delgadillo. Talented server for this team. Xander blocks this one home. That's going to be a 4-hit violation by the Tigers as that 6'4" frame just towers over everybody on that Riverside City team. Nice job by Xander. Delgadillo still serving. Hornets still trailing. 23-19 is the score in favor of Riverside City College. They're 2 points away from closing things out. Here's Elias Romero. Now here's Frew on the left side. Taps it in the home. And it's a point for the Hornets. A 3-0 run, and that's going to force Elizabeth Younglove, the associate head coach here at Riverside City College, to call a timeout. The Hornets have cut the deficit to 3. They trail 23-20 here in this third set. You are watching Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. Noah Alvarez joined by Jared Hall, Victor Vasquez, and Ryan Osborne for tonight's match between two Orange Empire Conference teams, going back and forth all night. The Tigers are hanging on to a 23-20 lead. Seemed like they had all the momentum, but now the Hornets have marched their way back and brought this one really close here at the final end of this third set.
You're exactly right, Noah. They've been able to march their way back in by having consistent serves and putting the defense of the Tigers in, these positions where they're just not comfortable. They've not been able to return, and that last point for the Fullerton Hornets ended up being almost 3 free plays that the Tigers gave up to the Fullerton Hornets. So it's no surprise that the Hornets have just been able finding the success to get back into this set. They're only 3 points away now. Let's see what they can do to try to come back strong.
Let's take a look ahead at the remaining schedule for the Hornets after tonight. Next Wednesday, we'll be here for that one. They host Saddleback College. It's their last home game of Orange Empire Conference play. And their final 2 games, November 15th on the road at Golden West, and then they're at Santa Ana on November 19th to close out the regular season. This is going to be a point for the Tigers. They're now 1 point away. Nice play design after the timeout.
Elias Romero showing no mercy on that swing. She didn't care who was there, either Xander or Tiffany. She was going to get that kill.
And for Riverside City College, they travel to Orange Coast next week and wrap the season off with Santiago Canyon. The Hornets pick up a big point there. They now trail 24-21, cut the deficit back to 3. Sailor Frew will now serve. One of the 3 talented sophomores on this Hornets team. Arganda gets the first touch. Here's Elias Romero. Gutierrez able to get low to the ground, and Webb picks up the point there right in the middle of all the Tigers. 22-14, the Hornets trail, making this a close one.
Great skill by Faith Webb with a nice cutting shot. So she's on the near side of the court, hits that ball right into the middle where there's nobody around.
Unofficially, she has now 5 kills on the evening. Webb shanks this one past her bench. It's going to be a point for the Tigers, and they win that third set by a final score of 25-22. Back and forth it went, but the Tigers come out victorious in that one. They now lead 2-1. A reminder, you are watching Fullerton College Volleyball on 90.1 KBPK. Noah Alvarez joined by Victor Vasquez, Ryan Osborne, and Jared Hall for tonight's match between Fullerton College and Riverside City College. 2 Orange Empire Conference teams battling out. Back and forth they go. And so far, the Tigers have the advantage, leading 2-1.
Noah, and I was going to say, you saw at that moment when they called the timeout, Coach Glennie did, they were 3 points behind. You started feeling that momentum that they started to get. Faith Webb with a great cut shot. You could feel Fullerton starting to feel that energy that they needed to, okay, we got a chance to take the lead in this match. But again, great job by the Riverside Tigers to not wither in that late third set, and just with great serving and great hits by Elias Romero to just blast continuous strikes against the Fullerton defense to give them that third set. Now they are in control 2-1 in this match.
Again, I'm Noah Alvarez, joined by Victor Vasquez, Jared Hall, Mark Pavlovich, and Ryan Osborne. Mark, the voice of Fullerton College football. They have a big game tomorrow against El Camino College. Be sure to tune into that game as the voices of Fullerton College football, Mark, Corey Nayland, along with you, myself, and Ryan Osborne. We're going to have a list of our all-time greatest players to ever play football here at Fullerton College. So be sure to tune into that one. You can click the homepage on the Fullerton Athletics to find out where you can tune into that one. Going back to tonight's match, though, the Tigers here of Riverside City College have a commanding 2-1 lead over Fullerton College. The last time we saw these teams play back in the beginning of the season, it was October 9th, and the Hornets were riding a win streak of 4 games. They defeated Riverside City College in 3 games on the road, and they really won in commanding fashion. I want to take a look at some of back of those. I want to take a look back at some of those stats. Frew had 13 kills on the evening. Webb had 10 to go along with Longstreet, who also had 10. But the biggest thing, when you look at both team stats compared, Fullerton had 10 service aces in comparison to just 2 by Riverside City College. We haven't seen the same teams in tonight's match.
You really haven't. I mean, you see also the stats that we have right here that Noah was just presenting. In that last match, Riverside only had 4 blocks. In this match already, they've already passed that mark, and they're just providing that pressure against Fullerton. You have Hober up on the net, just trying to get her hands on every ball she can. And you mentioned it in the pregame, Noah, that like you said, there's not one star player maybe for the Riverside Tigers. They're all well-rounded players. They all know how to dig. They all know how to block, and they all know how to get those kills and those points for their team. And especially, let's not forget the serve. The serve is just putting them in good positions to set up their attacks.
Yeah, that's the one thing I said it was going to be a key thing to keep an eye on, is how many blocks Riverside City College gets tonight, or how many blocks Fullerton College gets tonight, or lack thereof, because Longstreet is out with an injury in tonight's match. Already 9 blocks by Riverside City College as a team. You mentioned it, 4 blocks total last time these two teams played. We're here ready to start the third set.
So now we have Urban going strong on that one and able to hit the back row. It's actually a deflection off of one of the defenders for Fullerton.
Looks like it deflected off Delgadillo at the net.
So the Tigers get the first point of this fourth set. Gray serving for the Tigers. Is able to get it over. As multiple Hornets are in the back row. Now they're just forced to give a free play to the Tigers as Hill tried to get it through to the middle. Play continues. Fullerton setting up Faith Webb, and it ends up getting deflected, but point for Fullerton.
And you saw Hill and Collier were unaware where that ball hit after it hit their wall. Webb put a lot of nice spin on it, so it stayed right there and hovered over in that Riverside City College area.
So Webb, who just scored that kill for the Hornets, tied this up in this fourth set 1-1. She is now serving. So now Gray setting up. It's going to be a dump pass by Elias Romero. Frew with a great cut shot on that one as the rally continues for both teams. Fullerton now giving it to Genstad as Elias Romero already on her knees to get that dig. And now Fullerton gives it out to Genstad, who gets blocked at the net. And now Frew goes cross court. Another long rally ensues between the Tigers and the Hornets, and it's going to end with a powerful strike by Frew.
It was a back and forth. Neither team could take control, but you can say one thing. There was no lack of hustle. You saw bodies hitting the floor for both teams, and you love to see that.
As the Hornets are now in the lead by 2-1 in this fourth set. Faith Webb continuing to serve and ends up being in on that one. So it's going to be a service ace, unreturnable by the Tigers.
That call was made by Stephen Collins, who will be doing the line judge duties.
That was already Faith Webb's third ace of this match. As she gets it over. Now it's Gray setting up far side for Urban, but it ends up being a block. The wall was Genstad and Frew.
Yeah, give them both a block and assist there. Good job, too. They angled their arms, so that was going to spin and carry over to the front of the net. Nothing Riverside City could do.
Fullerton with a 3-point lead in this fourth set. 4-1 is the score. Webb continues to serve strong as Hill gets stuffed at the net. Another block for Genstad, another point for the Hornets.
Hey, Genstad said it's a block party. Everyone invited here at Fullerton College.
So now we have Webb again serving once more. She leads the Hornets with aces coming into this game. Score is 5-1 in this fourth set. And as soon as I say that, she stuffs that one right into the net. Point for the Tigers now.
Broadcaster jinx. You hate to see it.
I don't want to believe in it, Noah, but it's true. As the score is 5-2. Now we have Urban serving for the Tigers. And now the Fullerton Hornets set it up for Frew, but Mara Hill is there to get all that ball. So now it's going to be point for the Tigers. 5-3 is the score. Fullerton still on top by 2 in this fourth set.
And much like Hober, Amara Hill stands at 6'2", so she really towers over anybody on that Fullerton team, especially with Xander out of the lineup right now.
As Hill gives it right off to Collier. Now it's going to be a setup for Genstad. Both teams playing very close to the net, and it ends with an Elias Romero bomb.
Yeah, it's going to tool out of bounds off Fullerton. Delgadillo and Genstad both went up for the block, but both of them weren't facing the same direction. Looked like Delgadillo was open towards the sideline, and that's why it deflects off her hands, bounces out.
So now the Tigers serving ends up going out of bound. The serve was made by Urban. Ends a 3-point streak that the Tigers had in this fourth set. So the score is 6-4. Now we have Mackenzie Genstad ready to serve. Genstad having an impact on both ends as Elias Romero with another smack hits the hardwood before anybody can get it.
She brought the heat on that one. 10 kills now on the evening, and that one left a scorching path on the court.
The score is now 6-5. Fullerton still on top by 1 as Arganda now serving for the Tigers. Delgadillo gives it off to Xander. Lefty gets blocked. As the rally continues now. Outside attack for Frew, and it ends up being Point for Fullerton because of the deflection.
Yeah, it looked like Arganda got a piece of it. She's going to make her case and plead to the referee saying it wasn't me, but ref saw it.
So now Fullerton up by 2, 7-5 in this fourth set. As Karen Delgadillo still serving. Now it was bad ball placement by Gray, trying to set up Elias Romero, ends up just throwing that one to the net. So now Fullerton with a 3-point lead, 8-5 in this fourth set. As Delgadillo continues to serve. And now it's Scott skying for that one, and she's able to get the slam and the power tip before any Fullerton defender can get it.
Well, they actually call a lane violation on Delgadillo, who had her foot over the line. So whether she got to it or not, you're right, it was good heads-up play by Scott to take that one out of the air and slam it home. But Delgadillo crosses over the line.
As Fullerton now has Xander not able to get a good hit on that one, hits it right into the net. So now the score is 8-7. Fullerton still on top by 1, but again, the Tigers on a 3-point streak. As we have Collier with a nice float serve. Gutierrez throwing her body on the ground to get that dig. And now Elias Romero tries to get that dump shot, but it ends up going out of bounds, but it's actually going to be a point for Fullerton as it was a double hit against the Tigers. We're in the fourth set. Score is 9-7. Fullerton on top by 2. We have Frew serving.
Nice call there by Donna Hess. She's had to make a lot of tough calls in tonight's match.
As a service ace now for Sailor Frew. Noah, it's already a couple of aces that we've seen for Faith Webb, then Jenstead, now Frew.
Yeah, they've really picked it up here, and it's very reminiscent of Wednesday's match where they lost both set 2 and 3 to Cypress College. Now are really in control of set 4 here.
Nice dig by Arganda for the Tigers. Now it's going to be a free play for the Hornets as Xander tries to just punch that ball over. Now a back row attack for the Tigers. Here comes the far side hit by Faith Webb. Not returnable by Urban as she hits that one out of bounds. So point for Fullerton. Score is 11-7 in this fourth set. Fullerton up by 4. Frew ready to serve. And now Gray trying to find Elias Romero. Didn't get a good positioning on that one and hits it out of bounds. Timeout by the Riverside Tigers. As you're watching Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. Score is 12-7 in this fourth set. Riverside still in control of this match. They have the lead in sets 2-1. Noah, what have you I guess liked for both teams so far in this fourth set?
Well, for Riverside City College, they've had their attacking opportunities. They just haven't been able to execute on them. So it's whether it's ball placement on the second pass, on the assist attempt, or whether it's the actual attacker going up for the swing, maybe taking a wrong angle or not getting the best angle on their jump. We've seen them have those opportunities, but they're just not able to capitalize. And for the Hornets, well, their service game has been really on point here in this fourth set. We've seen them bring the heat, but we've also seen them bring the knuckle. We've also seen them bring the drop shot. So, we're seeing a lot of different variety from the servers here at Fullerton College.
And let's hope we get to see that variety in the serve for the Fullerton Hornets as they currently have a 5-point lead in this fourth set. Let's reset the lineups for you as Fullerton. We have Gutierrez, Delgadillo, Xander, as well as Tiffany and Frew for Fullerton. And for the Tigers, we have Gray, as well as Scott, Arganda, Elias Romero. And we also have Collier as the serving continues for Fullerton as they get another point off of the Sailor Frew serve.
It's their second service ace on the evening, and that one looked like it was going to be a little long. Arganda still plays it. Costly error there.
13-7 is the score in this fourth set, as it's a quick set right over to Scott, but Fullerton able to respond, and Scott tips that one straight down.
I thought they were going to call Scott on the push there in the middle one because it did look like it rolled off her hand, and she was able to push it forward with her fingertips there, but no call made by either referee.
So the score in this fourth set is 13-8. Fullerton still on top by 5 as Elias Romero serving for the Tigers. Far side attack and a punch by Faith Webb. And now it's Elias Romero showing off her strength, but good defense for the Hornets. Now the attack by Urban. Both teams continuing to play in this rally, and it ends with a out-of-bounds hit by Tiffany for the Hornets.
And it was a back set there by Delgadillo. You want to see that pass maybe a little bit closer to the net, so Tiffany has a little bit clearer angle right there. Unfortunately, Tiffany was a little further back from the net, couldn't get that angle.
Fullerton still on top by 4 points, 13-9, as Tiffany gets another crack at it, and she finds success on that one.
She definitely had the angle right on that one.
It was great shot by Tiffany as the score is now 14-9. 5-point lead for Fullerton as Samantha Swanson checks in for serving duties. Swanson coming into the season has 10 aces so far, trying to continue the serving success in this fourth set for Fullerton as Urban gets stuffed at the net by Genstad and Tiffany. And now Tiffany tries, but it ends up being a call by the ref. It's going to be a point for Fullerton as they ended up touching the net, I believe, one of the Tiger players on that previous play. So the score is 15-9. Fullerton on top by 6 points in this fourth set, trying to force a fifth and deciding set against the Tigers as Urban with a nice little tip pass. As the rally continues now, Urban once more with the attack, and she's able to get it over against the wall of Tiffany and Genstad.
Yeah, tough break for Genstad. Looked like she was going to be able to dinosaur dig that one out, but it rolls off her forearms. No chance for any of her teammates to get that one.
So the score is 15-10 in this fourth set. Amara Hale for the Tigers checks in. Delgadillo is able to try to tip it over, but she was too close to the net to do anything with that ball. So the score is 15-11 now. Tigers are down by 4 as Scott is ready to serve. Scott not able to get it over the net. Point for Fullerton.
That's the first service error we've seen the last 2 sets by Riverside City College. Team that's really good at those service aces, haven't been as dominant in tonight's match.
So now it's going to be Tiffany for Fullerton serving. Now Gray with a nice fake setup on that one, but there's going to be a call, and now the chair umpire is going to call all of the referees to huddle up and discuss this call. Noah, did you see what happened on that play?
Yeah, I'm interested to see what Donna Hess and the rest of the referees come up with, because it looked like Gutierrez was able to pancake that one cleanly, but you saw the early whistle from that corner by Robert Orantes, the line judge, over on the left side. So they're going to talk it over. We'll see what happens here. So it's going to be a jump ball point. They're going to redo the play.
So as the score remains 16-11, Fullerton still on top by 5 in this fourth set. Tiffany serving for the Hornets.
And that was the right call there by Donna Hess and the rest of the refereeing crew. Good job by them to talk things over and get the call right.
As Elias Romero finishes it off with another kill from the back row. Tigers trying to creep their way back into this fourth set. They're down by 4. The score is 16-12.
Elias Romero now has 11 kills on the evening.
And Gray is able to get that nice floating serve to fall down. She gets another ace for the Tigers.
Their second team ace on the evening. Been relatively quiet night from that serving position.
And this time, Hornets again, good communication, let that ball go out. And this time it's a point for Fullerton. So the score is 17-13 in this fourth set between the Tigers and the Hornets. As Faith Webb started off the serving for Fullerton in this fourth set. It gave him that early lead. Let's see what she can do here. As Webb is able to get that one over, but a little too strong on that serve. Allowing the Tigers now within 3 points in this fourth set. So now it's going to be Urban ready to serve. She has 25 aces coming into this game against the Hornets. As it's going to be a free play for the Tigers. As Gray with a nice little quick set to Hill. But the Hornets were ready. And now it's Genstad clipping the net. Play continues as Elias Romero with the campfire on that one against the Hornets.
And if I'm Megan Glennie, I'd be expecting a timeout pretty soon. And there you have it. She does call a timeout just because you saw a little bit of disorientation on that last play by the Hornets, all looking at each other on that campfire. You also had the web service error right before that. So let's see if she can regain their composure, regain their confidence, and close out this third set.
So as we go into a timeout, the score is 17-15 here at Colleen Riley Court. You're watching Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. My name is Victor Vasquez alongside Noah Alvarez, Jared Hall, and Ryan Osborne. Want to welcome both Hornet and Tiger fans watching online. Hopefully you're enjoying it as much as we are. Noah, let's focus in on the Tigers. I mean, they put in Amara Hill midway into this fourth set, and she's already kind of having an impact. What do you think has given her so much success, you know, being up so close to the net?
Well, she's 6'2", so she has the size advantage. She entered tonight's game with 99 kills on the year as well. And you're right. We saw Keely Hober have a really dominant first 3 sets. They pull her out. Really no drop-off with Hill. She hasn't had the kill opportunities that Hober did, but she's right there for a lot of blocks, a lot of partially deflected balls too. So obviously it helps to have the size advantage, but you see it. I mean, both these freshmen playing the middle position for Coach Trainer's squad, they both have this experience and that confidence in their abilities, and you love when the coaches, you could just make that switch and there's no drop-off. You can count on 2 different players at the same position to both play and give you results.
As we have both teams back from the timeout, Tigers are serving as Delgadillo tries the nice dump shot. But the Tigers are ready, and a block by Frew and Genstad. As Elias Romero tries another dink shot, goes over and successful for the Tigers, as now they've pulled within 1 point in this fourth set. The score is 17-16.
And this is where you need Saylor Frew or Priscilla Gutierrez, one of those sophomores with a lot of experience, to really step up and corral these girls and get their confidence back up before they lose control of this one.
It's a far side attack by Frew as it gets stuffed by Hill of the Tigers. And now Elias Romero with an attack. And ends up being a hit right into the net by Genstad, tying this set up 17-all.
That's a 5-0 run now by this Tigers team. They're a very sophomore-heavy team compared to some of the teams we've seen in the past in the Orange Empire Conference. 6 sophomores in total. All of them get significant playing time tonight.
As Fullerton, with a miscommunication, end up giving a free play for the Tigers, as Hill, unsure what to do on that play as the ball came right back at her, kind of just threw it up there.
And that's really fortunate for the Hornets there, because the Tigers had all the momentum there. This is where you would see Longstreet come in and really boost some confidence, whether it's on the offensive end or the defensive end. We'll see who steps up for this Hornets team now in their absence.
Fullerton regains the lead in this fourth set, 18-17, and they give it right back as they tie it up with that service fault against Mackenzie Genstad. So now we have Arganda coming on now to serve for the Tigers. She's able to get it over, and now Xander, unable to time her jump well, isn't able to get it over.
And, you know, that was a mental error there by Xander. Just ball placement and hand placement wasn't on point. But give it up for the Tigers. They've been looked absolutely terrific this entire fourth set. And for the, if you want to go back to that second and third set as well, they won by a final score of 25-18 and then 25-22. Both highly contested sets in that second and third set. They've really regained their confidence and didn't let that first set loss do anything to their confidence.
And their ball control is something that's really surprised me too as this match has gone on, Noah. They have less of those shanks or deflections that we saw in that first set, less of those errors, and instead of setting up those attacks for Elias Romero or Hober or Hill now that she's in this fourth set. So very pleased to see what they've been doing in this fourth set, how they've been able to manage that deficit and now come back as we're in a timeout right now. between the Hornets and the Tigers here at Colleen Riley Court. You're watching Fullerton College Volleyball on 90.1 KBPK. Go ahead, Noah.
I was going to say, you're right, though. Offensively, the Tigers have executed to perfection. Whether it's Elias Romero, whether it's Scott in the middle, whether it's Hill, Hober, doesn't matter. All these players are playing with such confidence, and they know exactly where these Hornets aren't going to be. We see a lot of scrambling, a lot from this Hornets defense, especially sometimes they're a little late to get over on their block attempts. So that's something that the Riverside City College is absolutely eating on and making the Hornets pay for their mistakes.
As we come back from timeout, Arganda for the Tigers ready to serve. They have a 1-point lead in this fourth set. 19-18 is the score as Delgadillo tries the joust, but Scott is there to tip that one right back over.
Scott's won a few of those on the evening. She's really owned that middle of the paint.
And Noah, typically we see those joust balls always won by Longstreet, so you gotta see if that has an impact for the Hornets. As Frew goes down the line and answers right back. There's actually a deflection off of one of the defenders for the Tigers, but nonetheless, point for the Hornets.
Yeah, it looks like Robin Collier got a piece. She tried to plead her case, and in the infamous words of Shaggy, she said, "It wasn't me." Referee says otherwise.
Great reference and call right there by Noah as the score is 20-19. And Elias Romero with a tip shot, a brush shot, whatever you want to call it, Noah, gives the Tigers a 2-point lead in this fourth set.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it, it's a point for the Tigers nonetheless. And that's something we saw the Hornets struggle to defend against Cypress on Wednesday, too. That little tap over the double wall.
As Fullerton is down by 2 points, 21-19. Elias Romero, this time with a blast cross court, but a good defense by the Hornets. And a dig by Scott keeps this game alive, but it ends with a Delgadillo strike, deflection out of bounds, point for the Hornets. So now the score is 21-20. Tigers up by 1. The intensity rises in this fourth set, knowing that Fullerton needs this one to keep this match going. Tigers trying to finish it off as Gray sets it up near side for Elias Romero. Gutierrez with a no-look, and now it's Enzo with a kill by Scott. Cut shot, and now the Tigers are up by 2.
That was a nice awareness there by Scott. Right on the first touch, too. She just skied up there from that middle position. She's really been the MVP for this Tigers team all night long.
As Elias Romero with the serve gives the Tigers another point. Now they are up by 3 in this fourth set, 2 points away from taking this match against the Hornets.
Yeah, first touch got to be better if you're the Hornets this late in the game.
As we have Elias Romero serving. Gets it over. Now Delgadillo setting up Tiffany. Running across, and she gets that nice cut shot for the point.
Yeah, it looked like she couldn't find the footing there, Collier. She looked like she was running and almost looked like one of those cartoons where her feet were going in circles, but she wasn't moving anywhere. Maybe a wet spot on the floor in that back right corner.
Score is 23-21 in this fourth set. Samantha Swanson checking in to serve. And as soon as she comes in, she hits that ball right into the net. Gives the Tigers a game point.
Yeah, costly error there by one of your serving specialists, someone who's been so reliable throughout this season for Megan Glenny's squad. You hate to see it.
Now Scott for the Tigers with the serve, trying to close this fourth set out. Far side attack by Webb, but a good dig by Elias Romero for the Tigers. As Fullerton now having to bump that one over, allowing Hill to smash that one, and ends up going out of bounds. Point for Fullerton. So the score is 24-22. Tigers still on top in this fourth set by 2. Now it's Tiffany moving to the middle of the court to serve. Tiffany clips the net. And now it's over to Urban, but it's going to be a point for Fullerton as it ends up being a double hit.
And you saw the way it left Gray's hands. It looked like it had a weird different spin on it, so it was a nice call there by Donna Hess.
So now, as we go to a timeout called by the Riverside Tigers. The score is 24-23 in this fourth set. It's a game point for the Tigers. Noah, if you're the Fullerton Hornets, what are you thinking? Are you thinking what's the play? Is you just keep playing aggressive as you've been playing these last couple of points? And what are the things that they need to do to kind of get back into this set?
Your confidence has to be an all-time high. You have Nicole Tiffany serving the ball right now. She's done a really nice job as far as placement goes. She had a let ball on that one, and I know you can't plan for a let ball, but that's really nice too when you have that good sharp angle towards the top of the net. And then you got to look to your sophomores, Sailor Fru, Priscilla Gutierrez, no Sam Longstreet tonight. So Gutierrez and Fru have to be very communicative, let everyone know where they're at, be really court awareness when it comes to where they're at on the court and letting their teammates know, hey, I got it, make sure they communicate, that kind of stuff, because communication and court awareness is going to be key.
And on the flip side, for the Tigers, they are 1 point away, Noah. So let's see what they can try to do in these last couple of points to close it out.
I want to see them go back to Sierra Scott in the middle. She's really owned that middle of the court this entire match for the Tigers.
As Urban had nothing to do but bump it over. And now the attack comes from Faith Webb. And the Fullerton Hornets have just tied it up after a deflection as well.
Remember, you got to win by 2 in volleyball. And it'll keep on going. So we could be here for a while.
And I apologize, the score is, it's actually tied 24-24. So just as Noah said, win by 2. As Hill tries to punch that one over. But Fullerton ends up costing themselves a point as one of the players ends up hitting the net on that one.
Yeah, it looks like Gutierrez bumped into the net as she was trying to set it over. It was a tough first touch there as it sent her into the net. You got to be under control if you're the Hornets. And if you're Gray and the Tigers, look to finish this one off. Be aggressive and get this one to Scott in the middle.
Game point for the Tigers. As the ball ends up getting bumped over, and again, Delgadillo runs into the net. Point for the Tigers, and they take this match against the Hornets in 4 sets. This final score of this fourth set, 26-24, I apologize, as they ended up winning by 2. Fullerton looked like they had the momentum to mount that comeback and force the 5th set. They just could not capitalize with 2 back-to-back violations of players hitting the net.
Yeah, and you see the excitement on the Riverside City College girls' faces. I mean, give it up to these athletes. They have played a fantastic game. Come in and lose that first set, and a lot of times when you're on the road, it's easy to just say, we're 5-8 on the year. The season's kind of over with. No, they still fought, came back, won that second set, won the third set, and then fought off a tough comeback attempt by Fullerton College to win that fourth set. Give it up for Sierra Scott. She's had a tremendous game. Keely Hober and Tamara Hill all in the middle, really controlling that middle of the court for this Tigers team.
So just to recap the first set, Fullerton was able to take it 25-17. Second set, and then basically onwards was just in favor for the Tigers as the Tigers won the second set 25-18. They won the third set 25-22, and the fourth set 26-24. Well, it's really fun to watch this game between the Hornets and the Tigers. And we'll see. We'll be out here again on Wednesday as Fullerton ends up taking on Saddleback again for the last home game for the Fullerton Hornets. You've been watching Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. My name is Victor Vasquez, alongside Noah Alvarez, Jared Hall, Ryan Osborne, and Mark Pavlovich with the cameras.